All right, let's get into this one. Let's make it a quick one. Kriega bundle up. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. What we're gonna do today is something a little different than what we normally do here. What you guys are used to seeing here is we do battle royales, we do all sorts of Robert E. Howard content. We're touching into some characters that are related to Robert E. Howard a little bit. But today I wanted to make a little PSA here and just let you guys know about a rather obscure book that I became aware of about the middle of last year. And it kind of surprised me that as a Conanophile, I only found out about this book about the middle of last year. Because really, why didn't I know about this before? Here's the book in question. Before I pick up the book though, word to the wise, those of you who have young people around, get them out of the room, okay? There are images on the cover of this one that I've warned you about, all right? This is the book we're talking about today. Barbarian Killer Funnies #1. And I gotta tell you, I'm really excited to actually own this book because I'm a Conan completist. Here's what we got. It's an underground comic from July of 1974. That's basically a Conan spoof. And it's not a Conan spoof in general. It's a very specific Conan spoof. And quite frankly, I didn't even know that until I had to open it and read it because there's so little information on this online. It's a beautiful book. Wraparound color cover. All right, and as I warned you earlier, you have some level of nudity over here, okay? But it's kind of interesting in that this really does represent a time capsule of mid-1970s humor overlaid on top of Robert E. Howard genius. Kind of an interesting book. Let's just get quickly into it here and give you guys sort of a quick synopsis, and then you can decide yourself whether you're going to go out and pick it up too. Okay, so let's talk about what this book physically is first. Okay, so we already showed it to you. We'll show it again, okay? You got your color front and back. It's 20-some-odd page, low-quality newsprint book. The interior is all black and white. And what this is a specific spoof of Robert E. Howard's Tower of the Elephant, which Tom Bird, who's the author, editor, and artist of this, retitled as the Tower of the Warthog. Bear in mind, we're dealing with 1970s humor here, okay? Some of it doesn't exactly translate to today, okay? In the story, most of the characters are renamed. Now, I don't know if that was done specifically to avoid any potential lawsuits. You gotta bear in mind, that whole Air Pirates mess that happened between Disney and the guys who made Air Pirates, that was going on actively at the time when this was produced. So it could be that Tom and Bud were somewhat concerned about that, which is why they did most of the name changes in here. But I couldn't tell you. That would be an interesting question. Honestly, I hope at one point in time somebody alive out there that was associated with the publication of this book can have a conversation with me and give me the details to let me know what actually happened there about that. Because Conan is renamed Crunch. He's not from Cimmeria, he's from Chimeria. He starts off the story being married to a sultana whose name is, it's quite funny, Yum-Me, M-E-E, which spends almost the entire story at various levels of nudity. He runs into another character, which is a female character, which obviously has to be added in for the stereotypical 1970s underground comic. And they didn't bother to change her name. She was Zenobia in there, even though there's a Zenobia in Conan. That's kind of weird. Yara, who's the wizard who runs the Tower of the Elephant, is named Gaga in the Tower of the Warthog. All sorts of little changes like that, but the majority of the story actually does follow the Tower of the Elephant quite closely. It starts off at the beginning a little different because he has to get himself out of the situation of being married to this sultana and flees and escapes and runs off to basically the seediest place he can find, which is, I believe, Stinkara, I think was the name of the city that he went to, and then he got into a bar and everybody's talking about the Tower of the Warthog, just like when Conan was in the bar on Tower of the Elephant, they were talking about it. He went over and talked to this thief braggart, who in the Robert E. Howard version was a kidnapper, and gets insulted, and they have a long dialogue, very similar to what actually happened, but at the end of this one, he doesn't actually kill the person. He actually ends up getting completely robbed. They even, in fact, shave his head. They steal his own hair because he's so busy bragging about how good he is as a thief. And he then goes off to break into the Tower of the Warthog. All sorts of hilarity ensues. Both Yummy and Zenobia somehow end up in the tower, both, again, still in their various states of undress. While they're busy fighting over Crunch, one of them ends up clubbing Gaga in the back of the head and killing him. So that takes care of the Gaga issue. The giant spider, just like there was a giant spider in Tower of the Elephant, is killed by a stray shot coming off of Gaga just as he was about to kill Crunch and the Warthog. So that takes care of the spider. And at the end of the day, Crunch is so fatigued with city life and basically how he's been ripped off and treated like crap everywhere he goes, he just wishes to go back to Chimeria. And because the Warthog is a genie, he says no problem and just transports him back to Chimeria. And Yummy and Zenobia are actually still angry at this point in time and go to fight the warthog, and he just magically transports them back to where he goes, and then he flies off into space. It's interesting at the end of this one, and this is one of those things in Tower of the Elephant that I actually mentioned in our reviews of those and in the battle royales on those, is did the elephant actually fly off into space? Robert E. Howard left that story very open to interpretation as to what actually happened to the elephant after he got his heart ripped out and the whole spell happened. Did he leave and did he survive and go on? I would argue he did. And in this, clearly Tom thought he did as well, because the warthog is seen literally destroying the tower, because everybody's dead or been teleported home, and then just flies off into space. And I thought that was a beautiful ending, and it really does give context and actually supports, through spoof and through comedy, what I had assumed had happened in the Tower of the Elephant. Now, both Tom and I could be wrong. I don't know. But that was a very interesting aspect of it. And that's essentially what the book is. It really is this almost Muppet Show-esque, Mad Magazine-esque type spoof of Tower of the Elephant called Tower of the Warthog that happens to have this overlay of 1970s underground sexploitation sort of themes throughout it to get to the end. Really an interesting book, but what should we talk about as far as warnings goes here? Well, this deserves its own segue. All right, let's start talking about the warnings on this one before you guys get out there, because everybody's got their own trigger points, and I don't want anybody coming back to me in the comments afterwards saying, Tennessee Fats, I went out and bought this because you told me to, and this offended me. This book will offend you, okay? It doesn't matter what your trigger points are, period, okay? You could be the most unoffendable person on the planet. This one's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you because it is very much a product of a time that you and I don't live in. We're not there. We are not alive in that time today. And because of that, we look at everything with our today brains. Think of it as like when people make that reference to, oh, well, I have my own baggage. Well, you don't actually have baggage, you have luggage, because baggage infers that it's something bad. Luggage just infers that you're carrying something with you. So yes, you have your own luggage. You have your own way of looking at things in the back of your head. You have your own way of interpreting things because of your frame of reference. None of us have the reference that these people were living in the 1970s when they drew and wrote this, okay? The jokes that they put in here are specific to that time. It's like trying to go back and watching Archie Bunker, that's his name, Archie Bunker today. It's almost impossible today for us to sit down and watch Archie Bunker. At the time, absolutely, this was just groundbreaking material. But today we look at it and we're like, really? This was groundbreaking material? Really? It's one of these things where you're like, I don't get it. This book has a lot of those themes in it. So I'm just giving you that warning right now. The themes themselves are going to be ones where you're going, ooh. Or you're going to be going, whatever. Why are you making such a big deal about this? One of the funniest aspects of this is this snarky overtone of the narrator. Because the snarky narrator clearly hates the genre. The snarky narrator clearly hates the character. And the snarky narrator clearly understands they have to continue to follow the formula of the genre. So they're making snarky comments while they're doing it. What's interesting is today we have no problem with Deadpool doing that in his comics every single issue. But for us today, having a narrator doing that, it's one of those things where like, I don't even know if I find that funny. It's just one of those things like, okay, just get to the point, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point. Maybe it's because of where I come to it from, but again, that particular aspect is something where that is not something that we catch as funny anymore, okay? Second thing that is the big warning on this one is the language. And I am warning you this right now. There are at least 4 terms in this. Yeah, 4 that I can think of off the top of my head, where you're gonna read it and go, whoa, because you just don't use those words anymore, period, okay? Don't think that I support those words. Don't think that I support what was actually written in this at that time, okay? This was them writing then, all right? They chose to include those words then. When I read it, I went, whoa, just like most of you will, okay? So if you're picking this up and you're gonna read it, don't come rambling back at me, typing away saying, well, they said this in this book and that's wrong. Listen, yes, I agree, it's wrong. I'm telling you, if you're a Conan completist and you want to have this, by all means, but my warning to you is, this thing's gonna push the limits of what you're gonna be able to handle. Well, everybody, that's our video today. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a fun one for me for a couple reasons. One, I wasn't doing the whole thing where I was walking through every single page in the book to show it to you guys, because I didn't want to do that for this, for a couple of reasons. But the really fun part about this one was finding something that I didn't even know existed as a Cananophile and being able to share it with you guys and say, hey, look what I found. And I think that's really rewarding for me in that I'm helping, potentially, those of you who don't know about this to know about it. And the other part about it is I've been able to give you a warning where I said, whoa, there were some parts of this that made me go, ooh. So you're fairly warned. So this one was a fun one for me. It was a little different, a little quicker. Let's see how it does. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next video. All right, let's do another one of our wrap-up things at the end of one of our fun and exciting videos. I tell you, these things typically make my videos rather long. And it's funny because I've actually had people sending me messages and posting things where they're complaining about how verbose I am with the words. I gotta tell you, it's what we do here. There's a warning on the front of the video. It's like, I already said fairly warned BE, says I. That's on you, bud. Anywho, today we are doing an unboxing, and this is the box. It is a big box, and it came in at 6.5 pounds of comics. Now, this is another one of these subscription things that have come up from the States. I'm gonna open it from the bottom. Just make life easy here because there's too much stuff all over the top. And as you guys know, what I've been doing is I've been watching and testing subscriptions really to check the difference between US distribution and Canadian distribution. And you know, I'm sure there are people out there that don't appreciate, you know, there's a lot of words that were in there. Let's go with the correct words, which are, they don't appreciate me doing this, because I'm sure maybe this is shining a light on something that the comic community doesn't want us to know as Canadians, but let me just shine a flashlight on that, shall we? So, we got a bunch of, so there's a bunch of stuff in here. Let's get the stuff out of the way. Again, I have the subscription service set up, but at the same time, what I've been doing is when something comes in where I'm saying to myself, geez, you know, I missed an issue, I've actually been adding it to my existing orders and then having it come up on the same shipment, because why not? I'm already paying the shipment. I gotta tell you, these guys do a great job. Check that out. That's all the shipping packaging that was in here protecting what we got. Let's toss that out of the way. Let's take a look at what we got over here. So I got a big bundle of taped books here. And I got this, which is taped to a piece of cardboard. Now I know what this is. I know what this is. This is actually, if I'm correct, this is the facsimile reproduction the Vampirella magazine #1, if I'm correct. Could be wrong. I like the fact they taped it specifically with a piece of cardboard that's so much bigger than everything else. And it is, yeah. It's a jigsaw version of it. Here, let's see if I get this out of the bag for you. So I gotta tell you, looking at it through this wonderfully packaged bag, it is not as cool as actually seeing it as it is. Yeah, these jigsaw puzzle covers actually, or jigsaw variants, if that's what you want to call them, came out a while back and they got a little bit of heat. Check that out. So this is a fax or a reprint of the first Vampirella magazine, which is pretty cool. I tell you, I've actually read the first, how many issues was that? It's got to be in excess of 10. Hold on, it's right over there on the wall. Hold on. Let's not speak out of turn here. Let's actually take a look here. Let's walk over to the library. Oh my goodness, down to the shelf where I have, oh, dusty. Been a while since we touched this one. The Vampirella Archives. And I've actually read this. Oh, it's actually only issues 1 through 7. Well, they're magazines, so they're thicker, so that makes sense. And I gotta tell you, I was actually gonna do a review of this. And if you guys do want to see a review of what I thought of the first 7 issues of the Vampirella magazine, post a comment down below or send me a message. There's an email link in the About Us on the channel. And let me know, because I gotta tell you, I had a lot of thoughts about that. And not all of them were good. Anyways. That's it. That's what we got. That's #1. Nicely packaged. And it actually looks like it's in fairly good condition. I've had a hell of a time trying to get magazines and magazine-size books up here in good condition. I actually tried to do and to pick up the latest issues of Vampirus Camilla. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that one, but I thought that would be kind of funny. And I was thinking about picking that up, and I was excited about it. And I could only get copies in the store that were just beat the crap out of, which was a real pain in the ass. I don't buy something to automatically have it be a reader copy when I haven't even had a chance to make it a reader copy yet by reading it. So I gotta tell you, not a happy boy with it. And I know many of you are hearing ticking and I've got a knife. I know it's triggering some of you, but it's okay. We'll get through this. Let's get all that crap out of the way. So this is going to have the latest issues of Conan in it. Oh, as well as a bunch of other things. So let's see if I can break this up here into piles, and then we'll start showing you guys what we got here. Because there is reason to this. Okay, I guess this will, oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know, let's just move the non-Conan books out of the way, Tennessee. As you can do this. There you go. And I believe, well, that is, okay, we'll discuss that as well. And we'll put these, I'm guessing are all part of the same thing with this and this and this and this. There. Oh my goodness. I tell you, when you want to get one of these things and you're doing it live, I'm warning you guys, you do get a variety of sorting. Okay, now good. We're good. We got it. Okay, so a couple things we got here. This is a foil reprint. I believe somebody tried to market this as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I've seen this online marketed as that. I believe this is #2 as the reprint, or it could be #1. It's nice foil though, check that out. And this is the test that we're going for here, particularly with these Conan books, is check out the lower corner on that. That is ridiculously crisp. Upper corner, ridiculously crisp. You're seeing the flash of the ceiling fan there. And then I've got my latest issues of #4 here with the various covers. And these do, I can tell you just at a surface glance, do look a fair amount better than what I'm getting. But we'll do a final review where I actually compare for my Canadian colleagues what's the difference when you're buying US distribution and having it shipped here as part of a subscription as opposed to getting a local comic shop. Now I'll tell you what I did here. This, I was sure, was the Frost Giant's daughter, based on the cover. I know it's a Carrie Nord book, and I was like, this has got to be the Frost Giant's daughter, because if you look at it, that looks just like the Frost Giant's daughter's brothers, the Frost Giant's sons. And I thought, well, I know that story was actually originally in the Conan #2, so I figured that would be the book without even thinking to look at it, even though I do need this book actually, but it doesn't matter. So I ordered this. This is the actual cover, without the glare. That's the actual cover of Conan #2 with the Frost Giant's daughter. It is not the same one. So since, as part of this series, what I've been trying to do is get the variants that are the homage covers and find the originals as well. I gotta figure out which one that is. Anybody knows which one this is actually of the original Dark Horse books, let me know, because I'm pretty sure it was a Dark Horse book. Then we got a bunch of random stuff in here that was thrown in on top. Now, I know, and I know this was a thing, and I know down at New York Comic Con this did, not dud. Heck, see, there's a Freudian slip there. It's just, this is a dud. I saw this in the last previews, Transformers #1, and I gotta tell you, I grew up watching Transformers, so I thought, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna pick this up. And my understanding is down at the last New York Comic Con, there was a foil variant of this that just went nuts. It became like one of the books to get. I don't get that. This is the Transformers, guys. They've been out since the 80s. There's nothing new happening here. A foil cover of this does not suddenly make this some world-ending book. So why it suddenly became I don't know. There's so much of a I knocked my hat. All right, another stack that was in here. I'll show you this, and this gives you guys a sense of what I'm actually reading right now. What I'm reading right now is Doctor Strange. This is the original Strange run. This is the last run that came out. This is Doctor Strange. Strange, okay. Strange. I picked up a bunch of these issues of Strange, and the reason why I did this was I actually picked up the latest issues of the Doctor Strange run, these. And I've really enjoyed this story, without the glare. Really enjoyed this story. This is another issue of it right here. And I said, you know what, I only picked up the first couple issues of the last Strange run, because it was telegraphed as to what was going to happen. You knew that, is it Cleo was her name? Cleo was going to be bringing Doctor Strange back to life. You knew that was going to happen there. So when it was telegraphed that much in the first couple issues, I said, I'm not going to keep reading because I know what's going to happen. But then I started reading the latest run, and I was like, this is actually coming out really, really good. So I said, well, you know what, I better go back and buy the last ones. And they threw these in. These came along with my existing shipment. And these are the 2 issues that I was missing in the current run, so I can now actually continue reading the current run because I've only read three or 4 of that issue. And I had to stop. Because I'm not going to jump the story. What else did we get in here? We got this was one of these Virgin variants. I picked that up. I'm not too big on these Virgin variants, especially with these variants when it comes to Red Sonja and Dynamite anymore. I think this might actually be the last one I'm buying for quite some time because this is a never-ending rabbit hole. And the funny part about it is I am convinced that 10 years from now, even though you've paid $25 for this now, this is going to be a $5 book, just the same as every other copy of this is going to be a $5 book. Or maybe it'll be a $6 book. Maybe a slight bump. I don't think it's going to be that material, but I'll tell you what I do like about this one, and I'm pretty sure this is hold on, I'm pretty sure this is a Perillo cover. Or is it a Carla Cohen cover? Because the description isn't here, so I can't tell you. But that is still pretty sweet as far as a cover piece of art goes. What else do we got here? Now these foily versions that came out as part of the new run. I said, you know what, I didn't get the original Jim Lees on these, and I'm not going to go out and buy them. But I am actually actively reading a couple issues of DC right now, so I thought, you know what, if I can get a foily version of these as part of a story I want to read now, might as well get that. I also picked up the Kingdom Come story, because I actually think the Kingdom Come story is possibly one of the greatest stories ever that came out of DC. I really like the end and the end sequence of Kingdom. I have always wanted to see, because Superman's one of my favorite heroes, other than Conan and all the Hyborian Age, of comic character heroes. He's one of my faves, because I grew up with him. And I've always wanted to see the end game. What's the end story here? What happens? How does this end? Because if you just read the comics, it just keeps going and going and going. And what I liked about Kingdom Come was at the end of it, the last couple pages, which no spoken words were spoken, it was just beautiful Alex Ross art, which showed the aging of Superman and showed time passing, he and Wonder Woman having kids. It was a beautiful thing, and I really enjoyed that. Now, I'll tell you, I did do this. I was tempted, and I did buy this because I said, you know what, it's a fancy foily thing, and that's the Magog helmet. And what's really sad about this is I picked this up on a pre-order to go with that other one there, because I said, you know what, I'll pick it up, why not? And within days of this coming out, I was already seeing this being resold for 30, 40. These numbers were stupid. Now, these are Canadian numbers. American numbers that I was seeing were people trying to sell it for 25, and I'm like, it's an $8 book, and it's just the next part of the world's finest story. There's nothing special coming out of this. If you like the story, great, but you can't seriously tell me. Anyways, thought this was a really cool cover. It was a Finch cover, and I thought this is really fancy, and I thought, I'm gonna grab that just for the heck of it, because when you're ordering on pre-issue or pre-order, you get a discount on it. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I also picked up, what is this? This is this is the Dawn of DC. This is a Power Girl story there. And now I tell you, I'm picking up next month the issue of, I believe it's Supergirl. I think it's a Supergirl special, because it has the story of, or it has on the cover, Supergirl's cat. And I'm crazy about cats. I love my cats. And this is a Carla Cohen cover, I'm pretty sure. This is Action Comics, and that was another one that I picked up just as a throw-in. So I said, you know what, I am trying to broaden what I'm reading, because I'm running out of things to read because I don't read any Marvel anymore. There's really not much there other than the Doctor Strange. And DC is running low on me for the titles that I am reading. So time to throw out a net. And when I saw these, I said, you know what, let's just random sample these and we'll go from there. But everybody, I tell you, the funny part about these is even the resale issues over there, the Doctor Strange stack, they look like they're in really good condition. And when I'm looking at all these, and again, it's just quickly glancing at it, I'm like, I can't see the same types of damage in these that I'm seeing in Canadian distribution. And I find it shocking. Now, I don't have these in Canadian distribution because I didn't get them at my local comic shop. But I will do that comparison video of those Conan books for you guys later where I say, here's Canadian, here's American. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until Conan number 5 is on hand. That'll be at the end of next month when that, or I guess it would be the early part of December when that shipment comes in. Then we're going to do the actual stop and let's review this. And after that, one of my 2 subscription services is going to be stopped. So either going to be my local Canadian one or it's going to be the American one. We'll see what comes out of that. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this little add-on. Once again, yeah, it added verboseness. It added some talking, but you know what? That's what we do here. That's what we in our community do. We talk. Because you know what? Talking is better than the alternatives. Everybody, hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next video.